The world of fashion is about to change forever. Because The Devil Wears Prada 2 is no longer just a dream, it's becoming a reality. 15 years ago, audiences fell in love with one of the most iconic fashion films ever made. The Devil Wears Prada wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural moment. The sharp lines, the unforgettable fashion, the biting one-liners, and of course, the powerhouse performance of Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestly made it a timeless classic. From Anne Hathaway's transformation into the stylish Andy Sachs to Emily Blunt's breakout role as the snarky, overworked assistant, the film captured the ruthless glamour of the fashion world like never before. It was bold, it was witty, and it was unforgettable. Now, more than a decade later, whispers have turned into headlines, and headlines have become confirmation. The sequel, yes, the official Devil Wears Prada 2 is in motion. Fans who once quoted Miranda's icy, dismissive, "that's all," are now waiting eagerly to hear what comes next. The mere mention of the sequel has already sent waves through Hollywood and fashion circles alike. Because this isn't just another movie, it's the return of a legacy, and one that promises even more drama, style, and power than before. What makes this so exciting is not just the fact that it's happening, but also the timing. The fashion industry is no longer what it was in 2006 back then. Magazines like Runway, the fictional publication Miranda ruled, were at the top of the food chain. But now, the digital age has taken over. Social media influencers dominate trends, fast fashion has sped up the cycle, and sustainability has become a new battlefield. So what happens when a queen like Miranda Priestly, a woman who once commanded an empire with a single glance, must face the reality of a fashion world that no longer bows to magazines alone? That's the question fans are dying to see answered. In this first look at The Devil Wears Prada 2, we're diving into everything we know so far: the trailer details, the filming rumors, the behind-the-scenes buzz, and the whispers of brand new scenes that will bring both nostalgia and shocking twists. Because let's face it, if there's one thing we've learned from Miranda Priestly, it's that fashion might move fast. But her power has always been timeless, and make no mistake, this isn't just a sequel. It's a revival of one of cinema's most iconic characters. The moment you hear those stiletto heels clicking across a polished floor, you know the devil is back. The question is, will she still rule the industry? Or has the industry finally moved on without her? Stay with us, because what you're about to discover will give you a taste of the drama, the fashion, and the firestorm that's about to return to the screen. The devil may wear Prada, but in this sequel, she might just wear something even sharper. The whispers started as nothing more than late-night internet rumors, the kind fans create when they miss a story too much. A tweet here, a post there, and suddenly the question began spreading: could there really be a sequel to The Devil Wears Prada? For years, it felt like wishful thinking, the kind of fantasy where you imagine Miranda Priestly storming back onto the screen, reminding the world why fashion is more than clothes, it's power. But then something shifted. Quietly at first, and then with growing force, industry insiders began dropping hints. Anonymous sources claimed studio executives had been in talks. A handful of journalists noted that screenwriters had been circling the project. And then, finally, the news everyone had been waiting for broke. Yes, The Devil Wears Prada 2 is officially in the works. What was once just a dream has now been sealed with a stamp of Hollywood approval. This announcement didn't just make headlines, it broke the internet. Entertainment outlets exploded with coverage. Fashion magazines dedicated entire spreads to the sequel, and social media lit up with one burning question: who's coming back? Because let's be honest, a Devil Wears Prada movie without Miranda Priestly isn't really The Devil Wears Prada at all. And while the studio is keeping the casting details locked tighter than Miranda's schedule, early reports suggest that Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, and Emily Blunt are all in talks to return. If that's true, it won't just be a sequel, it will be a full-scale reunion of cinema's most fashionable icons. But beyond the cast, the announcement hints at something even bigger. The sequel is not just a continuation, it's an evolution. The world of fashion has changed, and the story will reflect that. Insiders suggest that The Devil Wears Prada 2 will explore themes of reinvention, digital disruption, and the brutal pace of an industry that doesn't forgive those who fall behind. Imagine Miranda, once the ruler of glossy print magazines, now facing the rise of TikTok stars and Instagram influencers. Imagine Andy Sachs, who once walked away from runway, now navigating her own place in a cutthroat digital era. And imagine Emily Charlton, the forever loyal assistant, fighting for her own seat at the table. It's a new battlefield, and one that promises bigger clashes, sharper dialogue, and even more unforgettable moments. The announcement also teased something fans weren't expecting: new blood. Yes, brand new characters will step into the spotlight, bringing fresh energy into Miranda's empire. Rumors point to a next-generation assistant, someone young, bold, and fearless enough to challenge Miranda in ways we've never seen before. Others suggest rival editors and digital moguls will rise as Miranda's competition. If true, this means the film won't just rely on nostalgia. It will carve out a bold new story for a new audience while keeping the fire that made the original unforgettable, and yet, for all the confirmed details, the mystery remains the biggest fuel of excitement. The studio has played its cards perfectly, giving fans just enough to spark a frenzy, but holding back the juiciest surprises. What will Miranda's new empire look like? Will Andy return as a friend, or as an enemy? And will Emily finally get her moment to shine, no longer standing in the shadows but stepping into the spotlight? This announcement isn't just about a sequel, it's about reviving a legend. The Devil Wears Prada wasn't simply a film, it was an attitude, a reminder that behind every flawless runway look is a battlefield of ambition, sacrifice, and power. And now, that battlefield is reopening. The only question is, who will win this time? One thing is clear: the devil is back, and she's not here to play nice. The announcement was only the beginning. The true excitement began when cameras started rolling. Fans around the world held their breath as the first photos leaked online, streets blocked off in New York City, crew members hurrying across sidewalks, and luxury cars pulling up in front of towering glass buildings. For a moment, the city itself transformed into a runway, and with every flash of a camera lens, the world caught a glimpse of the sequel taking shape. Filming locations have become a treasure map for fans desperate for clues. New York, the beating heart of American fashion, is once again at the center. The chaos of Manhattan, the shimmering lights of Times Square, the refined elegance of Fifth Avenue, all of it will serve as the stage for Miranda Priestly's empire. But this time, New York isn't alone. Rumors confirm that filming has expanded to Paris, London, and even Milan, the holy capitals of haute couture. Each city brings with it a new flavor, a new challenge, and a new battlefield for Miranda and her protégés. Imagine Miranda striding through the Louvre for an exclusive fashion event, Andy navigating the cobbled streets of London for a story, or Emily struggling to survive a Milan runway meltdown. These aren't just settings. They're weapons in the story, places where reputations will be built and destroyed. But what about the new scenes themselves? This is where the secrecy grows tighter and the whispers grow louder. Crew members have been spotted carrying garment bags that look straight off the runway. Sketches and fabrics rumored to be designed by real-world fashion houses have been smuggled onto the set. If the first film gave us iconic looks, the Chanel boots, the green cerulean sweater, the unforgettable gowns, this sequel promises to push the boundary even further. The costumes alone are expected to tell a story of evolution: sharper cuts, bolder colors, and designs that reflect not just elegance, but dominance in a world that no longer waits for approval. And then there are the scenes of pure drama, the kind only Miranda Priestly can deliver. Eyewitnesses on set have reported intense arguments filmed inside towering boardrooms, where Miranda faces rivals who threaten her throne. There are whispers of Andy Sachs making a dramatic return, not as the nervous assistant we once knew, but as a powerful woman standing toe-to-toe with Miranda. And Emily? For the first time, she's said to have her own arc, one that could finally give her a chance to move beyond being second best. Fans who have followed her since her bitter, biting quips in the first film are desperate to see whether she step into a bigger role or be crushed by the weight of Miranda's expectations. The most electrifying rumors, however, revolve around new characters. Industry leaks suggest a next-generation assistant who isn't starstruck, isn't afraid, and doesn't crumble under pressure. Imagine a fearless young talent who sees Miranda not as a god, but as a challenge. A rival, not a mentor. If true, this would create some of the most explosive confrontations the series has ever seen. In addition, whispers mention the introduction of digital moguls characters representing the influencer-age men and women who have built empires online, challenging the glossy legacy of runway. Could Miranda, queen of print and perfection, truly hold her ground against a world that measures success in likes and followers? The sequel seems determined to answer that question, and let's not forget the cameos. While nothing has been confirmed, reports suggest that real-world fashion designers and celebrities are being lined up for appearances. Imagine the shock of seeing iconic figures sharing the screen with Miranda Priestly, blurring the line between fiction and reality. The first film gave us fashion as performance. The second looks ready to give us fashion as spectacle. All of this is shrouded in secrecy. Yet even the little details that have slipped through tell us one thing: the filmmakers are not holding back. They know the pressure is immense. Sequels often struggle to live up to the original. But instead of playing it safe, they're aiming for bigger, bolder, louder. The storylines are riskier, the fashion is fiercer, and the stakes are higher than ever before. Every leaked photo, every blurry set video, every whispered rumor builds the same anticipation. This won't be just a sequel. It will be an event. And with every scene filmed, every location transformed, and every new character introduced, one truth becomes more and more clear: Miranda Priestly isn't just returning. She's evolving. And when the cameras finally stop rolling, the only question left will be, are we ready for the new devil the fashion world has created? The final question on every fan's mind is simple: when can we actually see it? After all, anticipation can only stretch so far before it bursts, and The Devil Wears Prada 2 has already built a storm of excitement across the globe. From whispers in fashion magazines to endless threads online, people are desperate to circle a date on their calendars. But like any true fashion icon, Miranda Priestly knows the power of timing, and the studio is taking a page from her book right now. The official release date remains under lock and key. The production team has been careful, dropping hints without delivering answers, a strategy designed to keep fans hooked. Industry insiders suggest the film is targeting a release within the next year or two, depending on post-production schedules and global premiere plans. And if history is any guide, the release won't be quiet. No, it will be grand. Think red carpets in Paris, Fashion Week tie-ins, and a global rollout designed to mirror the very world the film celebrates. Because The Devil Wears Prada doesn't just open in theaters. It arrives like a statement piece, bold, unforgettable, and impossible to ignore. But the release isn't just about a date. It's about the build-up, the marketing, the carefully orchestrated reveals that will drip-feed fans exactly what they crave. Already, speculation has begun about the first trailer. Will it open with the echo of heels on marble floors, a single line from Miranda, sharp enough to cut glass? Or will it tease us with glimpses of the new world screens glowing with influencer dominance, contrasted with the cold elegance of runway's boardrooms? One thing is certain: the trailer will break the internet. It will ignite debates, fuel theories, and send fans scouring every frame for clues about who's back, who's new, and who's about to fall. The real tease, however, lies in the story's direction. Will Andy Sachs, the once wide-eyed assistant, return as a rival editor, standing on equal footing with Miranda? Will Emily finally find her own path, carving out success instead of forever chasing approval? And most of all, will Miranda Priestly, the unstoppable queen of fashion, bend to a world where trends are born on Instagram stories, not the glossy pages of a magazine? These questions aren't just plot points, they are promises. Unspoken challenges that assure fans this film won't just replay the magic of the original, but reinvent it for a new generation. And then comes the emotional weight. Sequels often stumble when they lean only on nostalgia, but The Devil Wears Prada 2 is positioned differently. It's not just about returning characters, it's about legacy. It's about showing what happens when icons must adapt or be left behind. That's why this release is more than a movie launch, it's an event. It's a cultural mirror held up to our own world, where fashion is faster, harsher, and more competitive than ever. Fans online have already begun preparing. Countless edits, fan-made posters, and speculative trailers circulate on social media, some so convincing they've tricked people into thinking the real trailer has dropped. Fashion blogs are writing predictions about which designers might appear in cameos, and gossip sites debate whether the cast will attend events in full couture looks to promote the film. This frenzy is exactly what the studio wants. It builds the fire, and when the first official teaser drops, that fire will explode into an inferno. But here's the truth. No matter how many rumors swirl, no matter how many leaks appear, nothing will prepare us for the moment Miranda Priestly steps back into the spotlight. That icy stare, that flawless delivery, that sense of unstoppable authority when she speaks, the world listens. And in The Devil Wears Prada 2, we're promised an even sharper, more dangerous Miranda. One who isn't fighting to maintain her throne, but to defend it against enemies she's never faced before. So as the countdown begins, whether it's months or a year away, the anticipation only grows stronger. The final tease is this: the devil is not done with us yet. She has new games to play, new rivals to crush, and new empires to rule. And when the curtain rises, when the lights dim, and when the first notes of the score play, the world will once again fall silent, waiting for Miranda Priestly to remind us all why she is the most unforgettable figure in modern cinema. The only thing left to say is this: prepare yourselves. Because when The Devil Wears Prada 2 arrives, it won't just be a film, it will be an experience. And in the words of Miranda herself, that's all.